Rachel. We got Joe today from Canine Crew. So we're doing an internal change war or some donation thing, and we happen to find Joe. And I'm just gonna like mostly give you the floor.
Yes, Roger.
Just because so the people that are part of Healing Touch Chiropractic, they know mental health has been a passion my whole life. I wanted to be a psychologist actually growing up, but I didn't want to give drugs. So I'm like, well, that ain't gonna work, you know. So here I am in chiropractic. I talk a ton about the brain, about the heart, about behaviors, about all the things. And so when Rach said she researched and found you in kids and animals, I'm like, oh my gosh. So can you just talk a little bit about, I know you have Cheyenne kennels and you have all those things, but can you talk about dogs and kids and mental health, because this is where your cash is gonna go.
Yeah. I mean, as you say, I love psychology too, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it just with humans, but I like it with dogs, right? Because they both use, I mean, if you really kind of start keying in, there's a lot of similarities on manipulating different behaviors, you know, enjoyment, you know, doing what you like to do, not doing what you like to do, right? Dogs are no different than any kid. But the problem is, and I'm huge on mental health, just like you. I think we have a big mental health thing going on. I think we have for a while.
No kidding.
And it reminds me of kind of like parents, they don't see an issue with their kid for like 2 years. So they could be depressed for a couple of years and the parents won't even know, right? That's kind of how sometimes the community kind of looks at things. But that's why we appreciate business like you, like awareness and all that stuff. It's great. For Canine Crew though, is what we do is we work with kids and dogs ages 12 to 16, and it's a year-long class, 4 kids per class. So it's a real narrowed down to where we want to teach them how to become dog trainers, but we also work on any kind of like thing they might have. Social anxiety is a huge one for kids, just because maybe they're introverted like me, right? But they gotta be extroverted and
he's pretending. He's introverted.
We're in a trust circle,
yes,
right? You're in a trust circle. But there again, so you know, whether it is, I mean, we've, you know, kids if they've thought about suicide, things like that, we're able to provide dogs not only for comfort dogs, we're able to put them dogs to work for the kids. The kids learn how to work the dogs. The kids learn a trade that where they can eventually make money through high school, through college, wherever they may go. Because if you look down your block, how many dogs are on there, right? I mean, that's a lot of income for these kids. It's not that like I'm giving away a dog training business, right? That's not the point, right? They're just dogs, right? This is stuff that anybody can do. It's just a lot better when the kids start building the confidence on their own to get with that dog and understand why the dog is sitting, not just because the dog is sitting, right? So you don't go like this, right? Dog sit, right? There's multiple things into just a sit.
Right.
So kids have to understand this, right? Why does it happen? Why is the dog listening to me? What is communication, right? How do we communicate to the dog? How do I communicate to you, right? Or the lady holding the phone.
No, the scary Facebook Live.
One that's got
Is this real time? Yes, Joe, it is. So, what led you down this path? Obviously,
well,
you have a story.
Have you guys been in West Fargo or have been residents in Fargo?
Yep, we have.
So in 2016, I don't remember a lot of ODs on opiates and things, a lot of overdoses happening, and they created all these like committees in town and all this stuff. And well, I'm kind of a pain in the butt, and I got pissed, right? I'm like, what are you committees? You're doing nothing. Like you're just talking, right? So I like dogs because in 2006 I quit drinking, and I needed something, right? Because everything else I did was a trigger. I'm sure you guys are familiar with triggers, right? We could get into dog behavior all day and talk about triggers. But there again, alcohol was a trigger for me, and dogs were able to get me through a lot of stuff because I started with hunting dogs and everything else. So in 2016, when all this was kind of heading down, the opiates, I'm just like, screw it. Everybody loves dogs, right?
Let's do something
different. Let's get out there and right? It's not always impacting a whole 50,000 people. It's one kid at a time, right? It's every parent loves their kid. It's one kid, right? The kid that's got a passion. right? Autism. I've had some low spectrum autism kids that do great with some of these dogs, right? They're just so calm, right? And the dogs can trust them, right? They're not hyper speed like that one, right? Where the dogs are like,
Honey.
she's crazy.
Too much.
But there again, and that's so the dogs help me, and if they can help me, which is very troublesome, they can help other kids, right? And they have. We've had kids, as far as getting bullied, got left school, went back into school. Now, can the program take all that? No, but the program took a chunk of help that the kid needed to get through that, back into school, back into sports, confidence and all that, right? So each individual kid's different, just like each dog. And then like I said, I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, just a dog guy, but I pick dogs per class. We might have up to 10 breeds for each class. So I'm able to pick and choose. If the kid's having a bad day, they just go play fetch with the dog, right? Because that's what's good for me. I just throwing a ball and the dog bringing it back to me, right? That's nice. It's just relaxing. It doesn't have to be much, right? But it helps the kid get through that minute of that hour of that day. Does that make sense? Yeah.
So happy.
And dogs, you can't be lazy with a dog, really, right? I look at mine too, and I'm like, oh, I just want to sit on the couch. But there again, that you need to get out with them. You need to do stuff. So if we can teach the kids how to have the initiative to do that, what happens if you're depressed and you get out?
Oh my gosh, it changes your whole life.
Start feeling better, right? And it just sounds simple, like, okay, we'll just go and play in the snow. Right, let's watch the dog be dumb in the snow.
Yeah.
But he gets off the couch, off the phone, and breathing fresh air, right? This isn't me grabbing him by the collar like they did to us in the 80s, throwing us out, right?
Go play and I'll ring the bell when you're supposed to come back home.
Lights are on, get back. But this is just setting the kid up, to win. It's just one thing. Okay, we got a dog. Well, what do we do with a dog? What can we do with a dog? Right? There's a lot of different things these animals can do. People just don't understand that yet, right? Because there's hasn't been a lot of research behind dogs.
Well, the human right now is struggling so bad. So.
After the pandemic.
Right. So as long as the human struggles and doesn't see that there's another pathway out, aka go outside and be in the sun and stop drinking freaking booze and move your body,
all that stuff.
Like what? Right? That can change you.
That only not changes you, but it changes everybody around you, right? It changes your whole circle.
Right. So
you're not going to hang around, or you're not going to do things, right? It's no different than when you're in school.
Right.
13-year-old, right? Because that's a tough age.
Right.
I was a guy, not a girl, but it was a tough age.
Just 1 minute.
Live Facebook.
Video in progress.
She's like, unless you want to be on it, you're like a scary dog.
I'm out.
I'm just here for my back.
By the way, it's more than your back.
I got some.
So you know.
But they're.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, talk dogs and backs. But so this guy here, his name is Fuego. I've had him since he was 8 weeks old. He's part of the program, so I use him for specific kids and everything. And each class always latches onto a dog, right? And I know which kid. After you do it for a little bit, you can kind of tell. And he latches on to specific kids, and specific kids latch on to him, right? The dog we're going to bring in, Shia, she's kind of that hyper comfort dog, where if she doesn't have a toy, she's going to sit on your lap, right, and probably nibble on you. But there again, she's going to give you that dopamine rush that you need at that point, right? And like I said, it's not an all-day, 24-hour dopamine rush. It's when you need it the most. That's when things have to step in, right? To bridge you into something else, right? It's not an all-day thing. Like, I'm not happy all day, right? Nobody. Maybe some people are. Good for them. Like, awesome.
They aren't. They're lying.
Right? But I'm not. But when I'm really at that point, though, let's say right when I quit drinking, I had something, right? Yeah. And I was able to get myself off that whatever trigger may be, and get out with the dog out in the field, or do something with it, play fetch with it, teach it how to sit, whatever it might be, right? Same principle we do with the kids. Whatever their issue, if they have any kind of whatever they want to work on, or whatever their parents feel, that's what we hit for 12 months. Plus, give them a trade, teach them how to communicate. Yeah. Huge, right? Yeah. That's every relationship. Communication.
Yeah.
Period.
Period.
If Olivia can't communicate with him, right? Why would he do anything, right? Nothing's gonna happen, period. Like, so if kids don't learn how to communicate not only to me, but to the dogs and the future clients, right? We wanna keep building and building and building, so when they're out in the real world, and they have to sit down and interview, they're closer, right?
Exactly.
Closer than they would have been, right? Or if they're teaching a class, or in front of people, they're doing different things, right?
So
All that
how
stuff.
do people get a hold of you, or like?
We have Facebook and we have Instagram. So Canine Crew, you just Google them or go on Facebook and you can just go right there. I don't actually know what you call them.
Obviously, if you didn't know what Facebook was.
But we're there.
Yeah.
Lots of Facebook videos with kids and dogs. Everybody loves that. But there again, we appreciate you guys for really getting out there and being a business that is creating awareness, right? I mean, we're just one really, really, really small nonprofit, but I mean, you guys can really change a lot of things, right? I mean, you don't have the nonprofit, but you do all this other stuff, right? I mean, it takes all of us, because what is that called? Community, right? that's what a freaking community is.
We're all bridges.
Right, we all need to do that because most of us have kids or gonna have kids, and right, things are changing, times are changing, and like I said, we appreciate you guys. And anytime you guys want dogs to come out, right, you just holler at me. I like to bring the Canine Crew kids out. That way they can expose themselves to things, right? And that introvert extrovert thing I was talking about, right? Put me in a concert, I freak out. But there again, that's part of it. And when I have a kid, and I'll finish it up right here.
See, I told you, like, stop.
But there again, if I have a kid and the program doesn't have a lot of confidence, right? We're talking safety bubbles.
Yeah.
Who would, if a dog is the dog, right? And the dog is putting the kid in the unsafe spot, and the kid is starting to learn confidence.
Yeah.
So you see all the reverse kind of.
100%.
I'm not a psychologist, but that's what I figured out. that's what I do, because no matter if it's you, safety bubble, or me, or the dog, right? He's clear, he's confident, we can train him to do anything. If I need him to lure a kid in, right? And for the kid just to talk to you about why we make a dog sit, or what are greetings, or how does a dog greet, or whatever,
Right.
right? He's gonna help the kid. Right? I can step back, like my job's done.
Right.
Right? We're in public. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I mean, there's like I said, there's a whole lot of things. Cheyenne River Kennels in West Fargo. That's where Canine Crew hangs out. That's where we do everything. We got a big dock diving pool for the kids to learn them sport. Canine fitness. Fitness is important, right? Learning how the dogs work on all that stuff. So it's not just like, oh my God, sit, right? It's all the whys and all that stuff.
That's so awesome.
So good.
I just,
Make sense?
I mean, we'd like you to stay, but we keep going.
Everybody's got to work, right?
So we'll go on later and talk about the change wars and the donation, like how all that works. That's really not very important for right now. I just really wanted to talk to you, see the difference that you're making in the community. And it really, in true vulnerability, chiropractic, in having a license in chiropractic, keeps you in a very small box. And it wasn't until 3 to 5 years ago, I'm like, fuck the box. Like, I'm done with the box, because people need so much more. People need all of the things. We need all of the communities, and we need to be connected as one to understand the power of a human. Like, what can we actually do as a human, and what are some other modalities that we can do, and how do we really stay together? So I appreciate you talking about this from your experience of post-deployment. Well, it's not post-deployment, but your experience brought you to knowing that there's a need, right? We all have our experiences that lead us to what is the need that we need to give now, and then how do we start to bring in the people that are around us that share in that same mission.
Right, because I mean, in reality, we're not that different, right? I mean, we all have stressors. I mean, this is all common stuff, right? We all handle it different.
Yeah.
Right. It's about getting out, getting live, and doing what you're doing. I mean, you're engaging, right? It's the first thing in dog training, right? You have to engage with the dog, or it's not going to learn. So you guys are out there doing it, which impresses me to all of. I mean, it's awesome. Like, this is what we need in society today.
It is.
You know,
We need all of it.
yeah, it's not.
And we're called right? We're called to go higher, we're called to go bigger, to get out of this license box that was my box. And start to then attract all the other people that are
Yeah, I
have
mean,
the same language.
You guys are leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, the more you do this, the more people will catch on, and
Yeah.
I mean, then you really create something.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I appreciate you. I appreciate your
Yeah,
work.
no
Yeah,
problem.
same.
No problem. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
You bet.
Bye, guys.
Bye.